welcome to the show, and before we get to it, be sure to subscribe to us over on our Patreon, where you can take part in episode polls, see Cinema Snob episodes in advance, like sections of our upcoming supersized episode on 1983 in film. That's all over at patreon.com/thecinemasnob, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification button as well. Looking for some DVDs and some shirts? Well, you could go to a thrift store, or you could visit our archive site, thecinemasnob.com, which has our various original movies and uncut DVD exclusive episodes, plus the link to our t-shirt and mug store on Bonfire, with everything from Lloyd-approved mugs to snob shirts, Saul, and more. Check it out over at thecinemasnob.com.
When I went into this movie, it was directly from Book Club 2 right into Knights of the Zodiac. There was like no time in between. I was hoping that I'd have about 10 minutes. 10 minutes to stretch my legs, use the restroom, fill up a water bottle, it's something, play around on my phone. But no, I left Book Club 2, went into the next room, which was Knights of the Zodiac, and the studio logo had just gotten up. So I didn't miss any of the movie, but I missed all the commercials and trailers. And right away, that almost made me mad. If Showtime is at like 6, let's just say like 6. If Showtime is at like 6, that usually means it's around 6:20 that the actual movie will start. This, let's say like it was like 6:08. So like the one time where I really, really wanted a break, the movie starts only 8 minutes after Showtime. And it's this movie, too. What a tonal shift. Go Book Club 2 to Knights of the Zodiac. Now, I need to put this out there. I knew nothing about this going in. Not only did I never see a trailer for it, but I guess it's based on a manga series, which has had some anime series too. And I only knew of this yesterday when I was simply looking it up on my phone. I'm sure there is a huge fan base for this series. I'm curious to know what they would think of this movie. I really, really, really am. So, that being said, take what I say about the movie with a grain of salt, I suppose. I know what the reviews of this movie are like, so I don't think I'm in a small boat on this. So, but again, I am coming into this from an outsider's perspective. I know zero about the source material here. But that being said, like with the live-action Dragon Ball, or Last Airbender, or maybe some video game adaptations, or I'm not familiar with the game, but I know it's an adaptation, but I'm just not familiar with the source, Sometimes you just know a bad adaptation within, like, minutes. Everything about this is like it was made to be reviewed negatively in online videos. I didn't even know bad movies like this were getting made anymore. This screams lousy 2000s adaptation that squeezes a series worth of info into a short running time. It speeds through plot points and is a jumbled, overstuffed mess. Even in the first 10 minutes, here's a CGI intro, here's cage fighting, here's evil knights showing up. There are no characters in this. None. There's not anyone where you can be like, this is a fully developed three-dimensional character. They are walking exposition factories that only speak pure gibberish. If you already know the source material, then this movie probably makes perfect sense. If you don't, God help you, because visuals will show up with no rhyme or reason or context as to why they're there. And if characters aren't just shouting out clunky exposition after exposition after exposition, it's lines like, "Come with me. Sorry, you're not my type." Or, "Do you have something for our guest?" "Yeah, a toilet so he can flush himself out." It doesn't help that a lot of the acting is either wooden or ADR'd, sometimes with ADR lines happening without the person's mouth moving. And I don't mean the parts where it's intentionally doing that. I gave up trying to follow along with it. There's zero focus here. We're over here. We're over there. Now we're over here again. There's an endless training sequence where a gigantic portion of the movie is dedicated to breaking rocks. And then in the middle of that, there might be a dream sequence of a destroyed city or something. What's worse than all of that is that the movie, because, all that negativity being said, maybe it could still be watchable. But no, what's worse than all of that combined, is that it is a complete bore. The only way this movie could be worse is if Uwe Ball directed it. But even then, the editing would be so awkward that that might take care of the bore criticism, to be perfectly honest. The movie even has casting you would expect to see in like a bad adaptation like this. And I love actors like Sean Bean, Famke Janssen, Mark Dacascos, Nick Stahl. But if you told me this movie was made 20 years ago, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll take your word for it and watch your review of it. I guess I missed that one. It's because I don't know the source material. I was trying to find something about it. I was sitting there trying to find something to keep it around like a D-, to just like hover around there and be safe at home right there. You're near the bear trap, but you haven't put your foot in it yet. I was trying. I was like, Mark Dacascos is always cool. He's got a good fight scene in this. I'll say that about like one scene. But then they actually have the balls to sequel bait this movie at the end. I wasn't the only one in the theater, but I was for a little bit, because not that anyone walked out, but in the theater there was me, and then there was this couple who walked in like 20 minutes into the movie. I didn't know what was going on in this from the beginning. I don't know what I would have thought if I missed the hours worth of information they dump on you in the first 20 minutes of it. So yeah, this is an F. This is a big fat F. The first one of the year. Pretty sure it's the first one of the year. It is the single most soulless, emptiest movie experience I've had in a theater in a while. And keep in mind, only a week ago, I was at a movie that was a rom-com where it was all built around an extended cameo from Celine Dion as herself. But even that, I'm like, that movie did have characters in it. It does have a beginning, middle, and end. The acting is better. The chemistry between the acting is better. Between the actors is better. In Love Again, ooh. Oh, Nights is. I'm gonna take a look at. I'm legitimately curious what people who are familiar with the source material think of this movie. I am. I will actually be looking online for that, probably, just to know what this movie is like from those eyes. And that was the end of my day yesterday. I was sitting there. I hated the movie so much that I was sitting there thinking, I think I might bump Book Club 2 and Rally Road Racers up a notch. Not going from a C to a B, C to C plus, C minus to C, sure. This one, oh, you're staying at F. I am going to remember this movie by the end of the year. It is. I hope I don't see something worse than this, or at least harder to sit through. This was hard to sit through. it is almost 2 hours long. When it reaches 90 minutes, it feels like it's about over, and then another predicament happens. I won't even say it has a complete third act because, again, boom, sequel bait. We'll be back, people. See you in the sequel. I doubt it. Oh, yeah. I'll have a double feature of Knights of the Zodiac 2 with Max Steel 2. It's kind of what this movie's like, honestly.